Hello, everyone. Um, I'm doing my article presentation on termination. The article's name is Challenging Endings for First Year MSW Interns Experience with Forced Termination and Discussion Points for Supervisory Guidance. The main points about this article, it discusses the importance of termination when an MSW is completing their internship. It also discusses them sharing their own experience when termination with their supervisors. Um, and it discusses how social work interns are forced to end their work rather than achieving the client's goals at times. And addressing termination happens for interns when the end of the academic calendar, and which does not necessarily coincide with the client's needs. It also addresses the importance for few instructors, supervisors, and seniors colleagues to understand the intern's experience with forced termination in order to provide them with the necessary knowledge, skills, support when managing the stage. They also discuss in the article that there was 2 studies that they did. They interviewed and created a survey for MSW students when it came regarding to termination, and both studies reported that MSW interns felt anxious, depressed, moody, angry, and sad during termination because they were worried if they actually have helped the client or expressed the guilt about leaving the client. Instructors and supervisors advise MSW interns to give a specific date to the client before the phase of before they terminate the client. And also it addresses the important role that the supervisor plays when the intern how the intern feels about the field placement, and the important role that interns play when having a good relationship with the supervisor is very crucial. And if the interns have a good relationship with the supervisor, they will model the supervisor's style. And the intern says that it is important to know when you do a forced termination because you're able to address not only your feelings but also the feelings of your clients. And it also discusses in the article how the interns internal struggle is like feeling guilty, sadness, and fear when terminating a client. One identified issue that I saw in this article, it discusses that there's a few articles in the social work journals about termination, and it does not address how a MSW intern should feel after termination. One identified passage that was in the article that I think was powerful was when an MSW intern had to terminate one of their clients, and the passage says Laura, which is the client, refuses to see a new worker, and a few weeks after my departure, she started acting out again, including fighting with friends in light of the difficult situation Laura faced my supervisor agreed that I should stay in touch with her via telephone to help her through her through this transition of unrest until she devoted a relationship with a new clinician. This passage meant a lot to me because sometimes you do, as an MSW intern, you want to continue to have that relationship with the client, but there's times that that's not possible, especially if you have like already finished your field placement. Another thing is another section is do I agree anything I disagree with or something that challenged my worldview. One passage that that really like stood out to me was it says, I realized that I was attached to this client and felt that she still needed my help. I was feeling guilty about leaving her, but Laura would even called me in my wedding or 4 times a week. To me, this challenged my view because like sometimes we do want to still continue that relationship with our clients, but sometimes we have to understand that there's boundaries and respect that needs to happen. You know, like you might feel guilty, but like you still have to set boundaries and actually go through the process of termination. How can this information enhance my clinical skills? This information can enhance my clinical skills because I know the importance of termination, but I also acknowledge that it does not only affect the client, but it also can affect the clinician. But also understanding that attachment does happen, but the importance of settling boundaries when you're terminating a client as well. 2 questions that I will have for the class will be, one of them is, do you feel as a professional future social worker, you cannot get attached to a client? And another one is, as a clinician, can you view terminations as a potential positive opportunities to grow?